Welcome in, everybody, to Leading Off right here on Fantasy Pros, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me today is Mike Mayer, and of course, it's you. All the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks are subscribers to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/FantasyProsMLB. Today, we're going to talk about all the home runs that were hit, so many. In fact, Mike Mayer, you got another one on the board. I don't know if you're up on the official board yet. We shall find
out.
But
I'm coming.
I know, and I'm right behind you because I got another one from my boy, Mr. Alvarez last night. So I don't know. Am I up to 6 now, I think, in the home runs, right? 7?
I'll have to check the board.
9?
Wonky, what's he at?
I don't know. I definitely am over 5. That's what I think. And I don't know if I'm going to be 4. The heel today or Mike Mayer. We'll find out. But again, we want to make sure that you're always joining us live here every day, Monday through Friday. We do the show. Mike Mayer, a lot of home runs hit yesterday. Once again, pitching seems to be all over the place. It's not too shocking considering some of the guys that were on the mound. The Eovaldi's a guy that's been giving up a lot of fly balls. So a whole lot of them left the yard yesterday.
Yeah, but one of them did not leave the yard yesterday. And a certain Aaron Judge is not too happy about that ball not leaving the yard.
Okay, all right, here we go. There we go. He is kicked into full heel mode already. Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs, robbed by a third. Go ahead. I'm just going to step back and give you the floor on this one. So we went from the Little League ballpark to the Orioles ballpark is now ridiculous. So what do you want to say about this?
Well, you and I can agree that Camden Yards is ridiculous now with what they did with that fence.
Ridiculous.
Yes. But it is funny that, like the Yankees of all teams are like complaining about other ballparks and it didn't even seem like it was tongue in cheek, which would have been perfect if they're, after the Rangers complained about Yankee Stadium, if they were just like, oh, look at this ballpark. But they were absolutely dead serious. And it was like, Aaron Judge was like, I got 2 home runs, but I could have had 3. Like, boo-hoo-hoo. I'm so sad. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo indeed. Well, every one of those home runs is another $1 million guaranteed probably a year if he keeps going at this rate. The Astros tied a major league record last night by hitting 5 home runs off Red Sox starter Nathan Eovaldi in one single inning. It was a glorious thing to behold. The Astros just completely unloaded. And this is why, look, when you're looking in the home run contest or in DFS or even in the prop market, you're looking for those pitchers with fly ball rates and powered hitters. And it's just not too hard. I mean, Alvarez was such an easy call for me last night. As soon as I saw all those things match up, I was like, well, that's my dude for tonight. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
A guy with 6 home runs. Like, oh, what an easy call.
Calling home runs is so easy. I was just stone cold in April. That's my problem there. I would have 1 in April or something pathetic like that. So what I like to say is I'm giving everybody a head start this year. Whereas last year I was leading from the pack, from the front. This year, I'm going to let everybody go, and this time I'm going to go and catch them from behind here. Trey Turner drives in 4 as the Dodgers rout the D-backs. We also had Christian Walker hitting a home run, his 3rd consecutive game, so he is hot as hell. Corey Seager got 2 hits and a home run versus the Angels. Mike Trout had 3 hits and a home run for Mike Mayer. You must feel pretty strong about that one, Mayer?
Oh, yeah. All Mikes all the time, except for today, where I didn't call Mike.
Ronald Acuna continues to say, don't worry, I'll be fine. He came back, stole a base in his return Tuesday into action, so that's good. So anyone who's panicking a little bit, look, this was bound to happen. A guy coming back from knee surgery who's going to have some other leg issues at some point in time. And, it's nice that he bounced back. Nice that he's continuing to steal bases because I think a lot of people, it's funny how a narrative takes hold in the fantasy community, whether it be baseball or football or what have you. And the narrative was, well, if you're going to draft Acuna, you have to understand you're probably not going to get him for a month. And then when you do get him, he's probably not going to steal bases. That couldn't be further from the truth.
And he showed that like he wasn't even joking around in his rehab starts. He was like, let me swipe 2 bags tonight in the minors. No concern about this name. Okay, let's do it.
No, none at all. Kenley Jansen got his 9th save. So congratulations to him. Jonathan VR, homer, steals a base and the Cubs win. He is cheap today on DFS. We'll get to him later on the show, but he's a lineup builder right now, as far as I'm concerned. If he's swinging a good bat, VR's a guy that can get you some points. And Ketel Marte was scratched Tuesday with a sore left hand. We also had on the injury front JP Crawford saying that he was fine after the Tuesday incident with his ankle. Then Brandon Nimmo's day-to-day with a quad contusion. I continue to look for Jake Odorizzi news, and I was looking this morning, and all I keep seeing is leg discomfort, more to come. Have you seen anything else? Have you found anything else on Jake Odorizzi in the last hour or so? Because I can't seem to find anything more specific than his leg hurts. And that seems like a weird thing considering there was a cart involved.
It wasn't even like a cart. I was watching that game. It was like a legitimate hospital bed that they like strapped him to and like rolled him out of the stadium. It wasn't even like the old like trainer's cart where they like, the guy pulls up like with one arm and he just like drives it across. Like they rolled out a hospital bed and then tied him to it and then brought him into the stands, underneath the stands to get him out of there. But I haven't seen anything specific about it. I know he hit the injured list, but I mean, like, it's got to be like Achilles or something because he hopped off the mound and went down immediately and was in a lot of pain. So my guess is Achilles.
We shall see. I'm waiting for more than just discomfort. I mean, discomfort doesn't seem to really be the official word, but
I
still,
was discomforted watching it.
Yeah, well, Mark is discomforted by Max Meyer's last few starts. He wants to know, are we still feeling good about Max Meyer coming up? I know back-to-back bad starts. Do we drop? No, we don't drop. We hold, we wait, we be patient. He was so good. It could just be a little tipping of the pitches. It could just be a little bit of an arm issues working through, a little dead arm. Who knows? It could be a million things. I'm not worried at all. I'm not concerned. I'm going to stay the course here. He could also just be pouting. He could be like, I don't want to be here in AAA, because I've seen that with guys too. They're dominating and they're like, you know what? Why am I still here? I should be up at the big club. That happens sometimes. So it could be a lot of reasons. I'm not panicked. Are you panicked at all?
I'm not. I'm a huge Max Meyer guy. Also, can you continue to correct Welsh when he calls him Max Meyer? Because that really throws me off every time he calls him Mayer.
I always thought it was Max Meyer too, and then I got, corrected by Welsh about Mr. Noisy a few weeks ago.
I still insist that his name is like Noise, like saying nice with the O in it, like Noise.
Maybe, perhaps it is.
But I wonder if Meyer is going to come back in the bullpen though, which is I stashed him in a couple deep leagues before the season, hoping to maybe get some cheap saves out of him because I don't know what the
interesting take. Like. I don't know if that's the route they would go with the young kid. I feel like they don't like to move guys into those kind of roles necessarily. I will say this: in any sort of keeper situation, you're just holding. I mean, that's it. Because you picked them up, just hold. Yeah. Not even Dynasty. I mean, Dynasty, that's a given. But in keeper formats, you're holding. If you're in a shallow format and you need help and you have to drop them, there's something out there that can help. That's fine. By the way, I saw your take on the whole buy low, sell high guys, and I saw you put Paul Blackburn in the sell high category. I noticed there. I was like, who wrote this one? Oh, it's Mike Mayer. What a shock. That's so right. How many starts is it going to take for you to buy into Paul Blackburn? Is it 32, 33? Where are we at?
Yeah. Whenever the end of October, if he's still sub 3 ERA, then I'll buy. maybe I'll just sell high for next year at that point. Maybe.
All right. Also,
let's talk about excellent Mara score too.
Oh my God, the Mara! I hope this becomes a thing. You got the Sierra, you got the Mara, you got the Zips, you got the whole thing.
I was telling Wonky the other day, I'm just going to casually like mention it like in write-ups, like it's a mainstream stat, like, oh, he had a great year, like his Mara was this, and just like not even give any context.
Can we add it to FantasyPros? Can we add it to like our, like on the side as was one of the like next to ERA and WHIP? Can we add it as a column? I don't see why not, right?
I feel like that would be low in the priority list for the dev team, but I'll ask.
Probably. Let's get on it. Maybe we start a petition with the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. All right, Let's talk about this. One fan caught 2 of the 5 Astro home runs yesterday. Didn't give them to any children, so Mike Mayer was okay with this. He was fine about this. Also, fun fact, the Diaz brothers recorded saves on the same day, Tuesday. Very nice day for the Diaz family. Edwin Diaz of the Mets and Alexis Diaz of the Reds. And this has only happened, 2 other pairs of siblings did this. So I remember Todd and Tim Worrell very well. Them I remember.
You always claim to remember the stuff that happened like 30 years ago. You're like, I remember when this happened.
Well, because I was 10 and all I did was watch baseball. So yeah, I do remember it. And Tim Worrell I hated Tim Worrell. He pitched for the Cardinals. And he was a closer. He's very good at the time. He had a very good window in the like mid to late 80s. I want to say he was a rookie in like 85, if memory serves, or 86, something like that. And good mustache, solid mustache. I don't remember who the other pair was. And it was the Manzanillos, right? That's the other one.
No, them I remember.
Josias and Ravello Manzanillos.
A very proud family, the Manzanillos.
The Manzanillos are a very proud family.
Ravello when you ask Josias of House Manzanillo.
Yeah. Well, when you need to, a favor, you have to ask Mr. Manzanello on his daughter's wedding day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Also, what a year to do it. 94, the strike year.
Yeah. This one I don't recall because by this time I was in high school and I was playing a lot of baseball, so I wasn't and by then I had discovered girls also. So I don't think I had the Manzanillos. I don't remember. The Worrells, totally remember that. So let's go to some of the stat heroes of the day. Brady Singer appearance. How nice. What a fantastic debut for Brady Singer. 7 innings, no earned runs, 9 Ks. What are your thoughts on the Masked Singer coming out of 2022 guns a-blazing here?
I like it. I've kind of like, unlike Kyle Wright, I've held on to Singer in Dynasty, much to my own fault for a while now, but I'm hoping this is the beginning of the breakout. I'm a big Singer fan, always have been, and we'll see if I will continue to be going forward. Would you rather have Brady Singer or Paul Blackburn the rest of the year?
Look, man, I agree with you, and I'm trying to sell Blackburn in a couple leagues. Look, if you're desperate for pitching, I would say buy high on Blackburn and ride the wave. I mean, he's it's more than just 2 starts now. It's more than just 5 starts now. Like, it's enough starts where you're like, something's clicked for this guy. I don't know what. I don't know when it's going to fall apart. Do all the underlying metrics of his minor league career tell you it's probably not this good? Yes, but this is baseball. These weird things happen sometime. I guarantee you Singer is probably, I wonder what his roster percentage is. What do you think Brady Singer's roster percentage? Why don't you look at that while I run through the rest of these and make yourself useful there? Sure. Shane McClanahan, who was our number 1 pitcher last night on DFS, we basically said, just don't overthink it. Just start Shane McClanahan. If you did well. 7 Ks, 7 innings, 1 earned run. Clevenger with a good start, 5 Ks, over 5 innings, no earned. Jose Barrios, a very important start for him. Only 4 strikeouts, but just 2 walks, no earned runs over 7 innings. Adrian Hauser also had a nice start with 6 Ks, over 6 scoreless. Dylan Cease, again, yesterday afternoon, I caught some of this one. 5 2/3 for him, 9 strikeouts. And Logan Gilbert, 9 strikeouts for him, 3 earned runs in 7 innings. So Gilbert, McClanahan, those were our 2 dudes. Did you find the Brady Singer roster percentage? So we know where we're at with that.
I did. It's low. It's 5% on Yahoo, 2% on ESPN. I don't see CBS, but I imagine it's slightly higher than those two, just because of the nature of CBS. But it's low.
Well, I will tell you this: I think Brady Singer is going to be leading the pack in the waiver wire video this week. So that's what I'm looking for.
I look forward to
that. Well, you should. This is why
I see it. I embed it in a lot of articles, so I see those videos many times a week.
Well, they're very entertaining. Thanks to Chris. He creates some entertaining. I just talk and talk and talk, and he makes cool graphics to hide my goofy face. The hitters last night, Aaron Judge, only 2 home runs, not 3. 4 for 5, though. The guy is absolutely on fire right now, certainly in the MVP conversation. If he was also a pitcher, but he's not, so he's really not in that conversation. Kyle Tucker, 2 home runs, 2 for 5. What's that?
The chat has been since the beginning of the show calling for Aaron Judge MVP odds. Saying
they can call Aaron Judge MVP odds all they want. When he picks up the ball and starts every 5th day, I'll be listening.
Well, he's also probably in June. He's gonna swing too hard and rip his rib cage again or whatever he did last time because he's 6'8", 285 pounds. He's gonna hurt himself again.
Well, he did change the regimen, I believe. He went from less weightlifting to more yoga and stretching in the last 2 years. Which is also something I've done, which is why I'm able to do so many podcasts in a week. It's very good. As you get older, you have to stay a little bit more limber. And people think I'm joking, but I'm serious. I do the yoga. I do the stretching, not before the show. Well, actually, technically I do it before the show because I go to the gym usually before the show and then come here and do the show. So yes, so that's why I'm all stretched out beforehand. But look, it's the same thing as Vlad Guerrero last year. Well, this is why people tune into the show. Vlad Guerrero was threatening a triple crown last year. And I don't think anybody in their right mind should vote for Vlad Guerrero for MVP last year when Ohtani was pitching and hitting. If you're pitching and hitting at a high level, it's your award. Everybody else is second place. And it's a shame to say so, but kind of like Welsh said yesterday, if you get fatigue in the voters of Ohtani, that's the only thing that could creep in. But right now we're living in the Ohtani world. And if he has another good start tonight, forget it. It's going to be minus money everywhere. Kyle Tucker, 2 home runs, 2 for 5. Freddie Freeman with a 3 for 4 night with 3 ribbies. Mookie Betts had a good night as well. He was 3 for 4 with a dinger and 2 runs scored. Tommy LaStella, my people, home run 3 for 5. Kiermaier 3 for 4 with a dinger. Miguel Rojas had a home run. Anthony Rendon had a home run, and Mike Yastrzemski 3 for 4. Hopefully he picks things up as well. Stat zeros. Merle was bad. Merle Kelly, 8 earned runs and 2. My boy. He's only my boy because it's the joke of Merle. Alex Cobb, I thought he was an interesting oppo play yesterday. Turned out to not be the case. 7 earned runs. I traded Alex Cobb right after the first start he made. I'm pleased with this move that I made because once again, the group think about Alex Cobb was very intense, and I think Alex Cobb is fine. I know this was in Colorado, so you want to give him a pass. What are your thoughts on Alex Cobb's value the rest of the season for the Giants in fantasy?
I'm buying low. I was actually going to ask you, would you rather the rest of the season Merle Kelly or Alex Cobb?
I'd rather have Alex Cobb because I've never been a Merle Kelly guy. Never have been. But Cobb is going to have some good starts. But my thing with Cobb is always the health. You know, you're going to get 120 innings out of Cobb. I mean, it's possible. Stranger things. Tyler Gilbert, 6 earned runs for him. Nate Eovaldi, 6 earned runs in 1 2/3. And Cool Chad, 5 earned runs in 3 innings. Here you go. You ready for the hitters? I love this, by the way, every day when we go through the hitters with their offers and their multiple Ks. But this is a glorious one. Tyler O'Neill, 2 for 9 in a doubleheader with 6 strikeouts. Your thoughts on Tyler O'Neill?
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I've been all over the place with him in like Dynasty, and I've been selling a lot, especially because everyone was like buying the power speed. I've never really bought into like him being consistent enough to be valuable, and like, you know, love the biceps, you know, love the overall look of a chiseled Tyler O'Neill. Looks like a great ball player, but I just like, this is like 2 for 9 is like not the worst line in the world, but then like boom, 6 Ks thrown right in there. And I just like happened to see that like right away. I was like, 2 for 9 isn't the worst day, but 6 strikeouts, I got to include him in the zeros for that.
Struggle with over the years, I have struggled with Cardinals outfielders, starting with Randall Grichuk and Steven Piscotty, into the Harrison Baders, Tyler O'Neills, Dylan Carlsons. Randy Rosarito was one that, you know, left the Cardinal system and went to Tampa and was great. Then he's struggled this year. So it's such a weird lineage, if you will, of talent that you're waiting for one of them to really just kind of work out for a long sustained period as something you can believe in. But it is incredible. It's like almost like Cleveland Browns quarterbacks, I feel like, where you're just like, you're just cycling through a bunch every year. And you're like, eventually it just doesn't matter. And yet there's still Nolan Gorman hitting, he's got 13 home runs now. 50, I can't even keep track of how many home runs that guy's got in the minor leagues. And he's still sitting there. And I don't get it. I just don't understand. And it's more frightening to me that we get a guy who over an entire day can strike out 6 times in 2 games. Just put the ball in play. Maybe some good things happen. It just bothers me. Kyle Schwarber also. Schwarber's bothering me too. 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Boy, he has been dreadful. And I did not see this coming. I thought finally Kyle Schwarber had turned the corner. We got him in the free agent last year. He came into Washington Nationals camp in great shape, was hitting the snot out of the ball, did get the injury, then went to the Red Sox, was a contributor there. I thought Schwarber was going to have a nice like finish here to his career in this next contract. Nope. It's been awful in Philadelphia this year for him. Is he hitting over like a $150 now? Where is he batting average?
I don't know. He's down there. I have him in a couple leagues.
He's got to be in like that 130 range by now. Find me that number, Mayor. In the meantime, Jock Peterson 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Nelson Cruz 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Looks like Nelly Cruz might finally have hit the age wall, which makes me sad. Pete Alonso 0 for 7 with 2 strikeouts over the 2 games. And then you had Joey Gallo 0 for 5 with a K as well. Let's get, do you have the number for Kyle Schwarber?
193. Do you know how many home runs he has?
Schwarber?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 4.
9.
9? He's got 9 dingers?
Yeah, 9
Well,
dingers.
I take back all the bad things I said about him. I didn't realize he had that many. The way you were saying it, it felt like it was less. So my head went 5.
I was surprised it was more.
5's too many. Well, look, the problem is, once again, it's the home runs are great, but in those roto formats, I got to imagine, and I made it a point this year to pull myself out of roto formats because I don't like them. So why do I have to do it anymore? Why do I have to do it anymore if I don't like him? Play in my points leagues, have my fun, have my cake, eat it too. What's it like there in Rotoland where nobody can hit for batting average anymore? Is it like just you just pray that you had Wander Franco on your roster? Like, what are you guys doing out there in the batting average world?
I'm also not a huge Roto guy. I'm in a couple Roto leagues, but I'm more of it. I prefer head to head. But it's bad. I don't know
what the points or head to head Roto categories.
I play more categories, but I'm in a couple points leagues too. I'm in too many leagues overall. First off,
that's fair. Like Go Card says, Roto is for real men. Yes, real men and women who love the fact that a stolen base is as valuable as a home run, or a save is as valuable as a 5-inning win. Yeah, 3 outs and 5 innings worth of pitching is totally the same thing. That totally makes sense. All right, let's get to the home run board, shall we, Mike Mayer? Will Mike Mayer be on it today? I don't know. No. Oh, no, he's not quite yet. All I do is win, still comfortably at the top. But here's the thing.
Wait a second. I don't think that's updated again.
Is it not updated today? Well, here's the thing. So. Here's the thing with this, that, we have a crack team here. I don't know if you have the updated one. That's the one that I had
in the sheet. Here. It's in the sheet.
Well, it's in the sheet. It should be in. Well, look, the updated board now has Night King of the North with 14 because he had Jordan Alvarez, and now I'm all in my head about what's that?
DeBlum.
DeBlum's name. D Blum. So D Blum has 14. Night King of the North has 19. All I do is win as 13. So I'll have to go, yell at somebody why we don't have the board in here today. But I'll go do that after. In the meantime,
a quick note on that before we move on. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh yeah, sure.
Wonky Penguin put the notes in here. We called 40. A day after calling 3 home runs, we called 48 home runs last night.
Well, they were all hit by the Astros last night. That's why.
Yeah, in one inning, and we blew past 700 home runs as a group, and we're now at 737.
Wow. So wait, how many were as a group last year? What was our group total?
You're gonna make me.
It was over 1,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 1,200 or something. Let me look.
Yeah, so we're at 700 already. That is glorious. You guys are great. I love you guys. I don't care what Mike Mayer says about you. I think you
1282.
1282, and we're at 700, and it's not even Memorial Day. That's pretty impressive.
And only 6 from you.
Let's move on. Special offer for new users right now. Bet $10 and win $200 at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today. Download the BetMGM app or go to betmgm.com. Enter the promo code leading off. Again, that's one word. Leading off is the promo code. And then you can start making your wagers. $10 wins you $200 with the code leading off. Come on, let's go and do it, baby. And today, we've got a lot of good wagers actually on BetMGM. We've got some Yankee ones. Giancarlo Stanton at 1.5 total bases on BetMGM. The juice is plus 120 against Baltimore. Jordan Lyles. Hell yeah. Let's go. Aaron Judge, same thing against Lyles. 1.5. It's minus 115. So the Stanton one is better at plus 120. Anthony Rizzo is a pretty good one too against Lyles at plus 125. That's at BetMGM. The Judge one's on DK. Going back to BetMGM, you got even money on Teoscar Hernandez, 1.5 total bases tonight against Gonzalez. You got Vlad Guerrero Jr. against Gonzalez. Same thing, BetMGM, 1.5 plus 105. And then Garrett Cole on DK is at 6.5 strikeouts. And the over on that is plus 155. But 9 or more strikeouts in 3 of his last 4 starts. So he's been very good. Mike Mayer, what else you got in terms of betting stuff going on tonight that you want everyone to get involved in?
So I like that Cole one, especially that 6.5 strikeouts. Like that's a high number for strikeouts, but like you said, 9 or more Ks in 3 of his last 4 starts. It is the Orioles, and the other start where he didn't have 9, he had 6, which is just under that number. And the other one that I liked, I'm actually going against the Betting Pros prop bet cheat sheet.
Oh, how dare you? That could get you fired, I heard.
Well, don't tell Andrew about it. It'll be
I won't tell Andrew.
So I'm going. So Blake Snell's over under for strikeouts is 5.5, only 1 fewer than Cole, but it's his first start back, and I just feel like there's no way he's hitting 5.5 strikeouts. I mean, he might only go 3 or 4 innings, and he might have 5.5 walks.
I don't think you're wrong here. I don't think you're wrong. I think when you talk about the limitations there, and especially if he is in one of those Blake Snell walk moods, then all of a sudden it could be a real short outing. He could easily go 3 innings, strike out 4 guys, walk 4 guys, and be out of this ball game. That's not.
I expected that to be 3.5, not 5.5. That seems like a very high. And of course, like, he's going to go out and strike out 12 now that I'm saying this, but like 5.5
probably
blew me away.
Get him in all your DFS lineups. Tonight, there's a lot of big pitchers on the slate. Garrett Cole on DK is only 9.9 though. He's like cheaper than some of the other guys, like Kevin Gossman's at 10.1, Max Scherzer's at 10.6, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but look, a couple $100 here and there is the difference in getting the hitters you like and you don't. That being said, if Cole's cheaper than Scherzer and Gossman on DK, then I'm going to go that route. If you want to just have your one lineup that's got a little bit of play in it, where you can put Scherzer and rotate the pitchers out with Scherzer, with Kevin Gossman being the lead guy, or with Cole being the lead guy, that's fine. Use Lucas Giolito at 8.3 then, who's undervalued. Shohei Ohtani's at 9.2. He's also a little under tonight. On FanDuel, they have the game starting a little earlier, so you have extra games. So you get Pablo Lopez on that slate at 10.5. He's been terrific. I would hard pass on Blake Snell. Because of the Blake Snell stuff you bring up, how do you feel about Zach Wheeler tonight at 9.5 as an investment? I struggle with it because of the other guys on the board. If this was like a lighter slate with 5 games, I would be into Wheeler tonight. But with Scherzer, with Gossman, with Lopez, I have a harder time buying in. What are your thoughts tonight on that one?
I mean, the thing you said before is he's significantly cheaper. So it kind of depends on what else you want to do, like how deep you want to go with your lineup builders. Because I mean, he's $1,000 cheaper than some of those other names, and you could get a similar performance out of him. So I actually kind of like Wheeler, especially he's been good Wheeler as he has been earlier in the year when he
better Wheeler. Bad. Because Wheeler's just 9.5, whereas you go to Garrett Cole on FanDuel, he's 10.6. So Cole, again, this is very specific. So on FanDuel, you could do the one pitcher, right? You have your one pitcher set up. You have one Cole lineup, one Scherzer lineup, one Ohtani lineup. Gossman's at 9.8. You can upgrade one hitter spot there if you want. Tonight's a multi-entry kind of night because you've got so many big pitchers. So if you're not a multi-entry person, if you just like to play your one cash game lineup, it might be a tougher night to make some money there. Some of the stacks tonight, obviously the Yankees continuously against the Baltimore Orioles. You would look also to the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. Love the Blue Jays as well. Some lineup builders, Jonah Heim at 2.2 over on FanDuel side. You got actually on DraftKings rather, pardon me. Then you got Jankowski at 2.0. Who's very cheap over on FanDuel. Teoscar Hernandez, 3K on FanDuel versus Marco Gonzalez, and Seiya Suzuki at 3.1 on FanDuel as well. Not a lot of play on the DK side in terms of lineup builders, which is, again, wacky. Whenever you get all of these big pitchers in one slate together, one of them is going to go off and you don't have that right one. It's going to be a tough night to cash. So you really have to be careful. And if you're not into playing multiples, then sit this one out. Or if you are, this is the night for you. Anything else for you to add tonight, Mayor, in terms of looking at the slate, looking at the DFS landscape, looking at the baseball landscape before we get to our home run calls of the night?
No, hasn't it been like a weird start? I mean, I guess it's not really a start to the season. We're almost 2 months in now, or maybe like 6 weeks in. But isn't it weird with like the DFS slates, like all the different start times? We're getting really wacky slates through these first several weeks.
And they're very weird.
I'm very lost. I'm so glad we got rid of the main slate home run call rule, because Wonky and I would have just been spinning our brains trying to keep up with everything. It's hard enough getting people not to call double headers. The main slate thing.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, is the double headers and which company puts the double headers in, which doesn't, depending on when they're announced. There's a lot going on. And what's nice is, the isolation stuff you could do, because you can just kind of play the day games. Like you're sitting at work, you can play the day games. It's a fun thing to do. Just sitting there and watching stuff going on. But for us traditionalists that like that 7:00 start main slate, and then all of a sudden you got games that start at 6:40 that aren't in that slate. But why? It's only a 25-minute difference from 7:05 to 6:40. Why can't we loop them in? I don't know, but that's the choice that they've made. Home run calls tonight. I'm going with Vlad Guerrero Jr. That's my home run call. I'm sticking to it. Where are you going tonight? Who are you calling your shot with, Mike Mayer?
I'm going with Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. Very nice. Freddie Freeman tonight. So there you go. So Freeman for Mayer, Vlad for me. We'll see who is right. Also, in terms of what's going on right now, like I said, there's a great article about the buy low, sell high candidates out there. I know you've seen that article. Did anybody pop for you in the buy low, sell high categories where you were going through your names?
I mean, I'm a big buy low. I feel like you're going to be the opposite on this one. I'm a big buy low, Seiya Suzuki guy. and I know that you are probably not.
Well,
you were a sell high Suzuki guy.
I was a sell high in the first day, opening day. Sell them. Let's go. But why are you a buy guy? Tell me why.
I just think, I watch him and I see just a good hitter with a good approach. And I think some of his recent struggles are just what everyone's talking about. I think it's just some of the league adjusting to him. And I'm confident that he will adjust back. And I don't see anything in his swing or his profile that scares me.
Okay. I like that he changes his approach with 2 strikes. It's something I do like about Suzuki when I watch him take at bats. I just think that there are some holes that people have discovered, and I think he's going to get frustrated as the season goes on, because the only other piece in that lineup, really, I mean, Happ is a decent player, Contreras is a nice player, but again, it's kind of tough to come in and be the guy. I just think it's going to be a long season for him. I'm not saying he can't be productive, but if you could buy low on him, I'm okay with that now, because everybody has a price. Austin Riley was my guy because he was only $1.84 over the last 2 weeks with a 571 OPS. And to me, Austin Riley is just a much better hitter than that. We've seen him be streaky in the past where he goes on cold streaks. But last year, to me, he really just blossomed into the player I thought he would be. It's an outstanding lineup. I think the Braves collectively have just kind of scuffled a little bit. I think they're going to hit their stride in the summertime. And when they do, you're going to want Austin Riley on your team. That's my guy. My sell, though, was not Paul Blackburn, ironically. It was Taylor Ward. Again, the 28-year-old late bloomer to me is still that piece that I just kind of look at and I go, it's amazing, but is he going to hit 385 with a 1,200 OPS the rest of the season? Just no, he is not. He is the massive beneficiary of great lineup placement, hitting in front of 2 of the best hitters in baseball. And I'm going to ask you this question. Would you rather have Jared Walsh on the same team or Taylor Ward rest of the season? Who would you rather have?
That's a great question, because I was selling high on Walsh too, so I don't really want either one of them.
Well, he struggled, so I don't know how you're selling high on him, because I like Walsh. Walsh is another guy too that's had a bigger track record for me that I like.
Yeah, I could have kept him for relatively cheap in an auction league, and I didn't, because I didn't want to spend the money, and I'm not a huge believer in Jared Walsh. I like him. I like watching him, but there's a lot of holes in that swing. If Taylor Ward can stay at the top of that lineup.
Would you rather have in a roto league rest of season Randy Arozarena, who has struggled a bit, or Taylor Ward, who doesn't know the meaning of the word struggle right now?
I think I'd go Ward, because there were a lot of concerns about Arozarena coming into this year. I did buy low in one league, and I was like, this feels super gross to me, but I'm gonna do it. And now I was right. I should have just stayed away.
Super gross. There you have it. I would take a Arozarena in a roto format because of the stolen base potential. Period. End of story.
If you played roto, which you don't.
If I played roto, but a lot of people do, so I got to help them out too. I'm the host for the people.
Man of the people.
You know? Just because I finally said to myself, "Why are you doing this? If you hate it, stop doing it. You don't have to do it anymore. You're a grown ass man. Cut it out." And I did. And you know what? I'm better off for it. Fantasy should be what everybody wants it to be. And yes, of course, we have to cover everything for everyone.
That's the definition of fantasy, actually.
I think it is, actually. Whatever you want it to be, baby. And tomorrow, it's going to be the Welsh back joining us. And if you want to dig a little deeper into some more of these names, head over to FantasyPros.com, because that article and all the buy lows and sell highs and Mike Mayer's dissertation about why Paul Blackburn is so terrible and why you should get rid of him, it's worth reading. And of course, Mike Mayer does fantastic work over on our site, not just writing, but editing and doing all the things that he does. So all jokes aside, Mike Mayer's pretty important around here. That being said, get out.
Thank you.
Because you're done. You're done for the day. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Mike Mayer, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.